Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hopefully this lighting is okay. The sun is out at the moment, which means that everywhere else looks dark, but hopefully you can still see me okay. Yeah, I do apologise about the lighting, but I just wanted to get this video filmed for you. So this is going to be my postpartum essentials. This is just for me. I can do one for baby, I can do like newborn essentials, I can do a pregnancy essentials video if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, but this is all the products for me that has literally been a saviour. A lot of them are like breastfeeding, obviously. That's what I'm choosing to do. I'm actually exclusively pumping. In terms of formula feeding, I don't actually have a lot of knowledge about. So yeah, this will be helpful if you're thinking of being an exclusive pumper. We did, for formula, we did use ready-made milk in the first few days before my milk came in. We just used the Kenda Mill ready-made formula just for like literally the first 4 days, I think. We also gave them colostrum with that as well, but I can talk more about that afterwards. But yeah, these are the products that I would definitely recommend to get, even if you're not breastfeeding. Some of these are just to do with recovery, and again, it depends what type of birth you have, so I'll talk briefly about the type of birth I had, just in case you haven't seen my birth story. But yeah, hopefully someone finds this useful. I would definitely like watching a video like this when I was in my last few weeks of pregnancy, just so you can go out and buy this stuff if you haven't already, because yeah, some of it will come in handy. First of all, you guys know the drill. We need a Pepsi Max to keep us going. Oh, I really do think this lighting's not going to be any good. I don't know how I can help it, because it's just literally the fact that it's so... Let me turn the lights on in the bedroom, that might help. I don't know. Has that helped? Yeah, I feel like that's helped a little bit. Yeah. Okay, right, so I'm going to start in random order. I'm going to try and do all the feeding stuff together. So in terms of postpartum after birth recovery, I never know what to call it, because I guess technically it's natural birth, but I hate saying that because I think it's really unfair to people that have had a C-section, because that's like saying that's not natural. And I think every birth is natural, every birth is amazing. There's no like medal for the type of birth you have. Obviously the technical term is vaginal, I guess, but it just always feels a bit awkward saying that. Some people say like, did you have a normal delivery? And that one's even more offensive, I think, because again, there's no normal delivery. It's just whatever you have to do to get your baby out safely into this world. But yes, I did have a natural delivery. So yeah, these are products that have helped obviously in that region. If you have a C-section, some of them would probably still be really helpful, but I can imagine that you probably don't need other products, although I'm pretty sure you do still, after a C-section, bleed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure after a C-section you still do bleed, so you're still going to need a lot of these products actually, but I guess you probably do bleed more if you've had the delivery I had, because obviously tears and stuff like that. So I had a 2nd degree tear. As far as I understand, it's first is the best, second is the worst, third is... No, sorry, first is the best degree tear, I think, and then obviously third is the worst, and I think you can actually get a 4th degree. So I had 2nd, so it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like the best one you could have. And I'm not gonna lie, I did find the recovery quite difficult. That's one thing I kind of wasn't really expecting. I was always scared of getting a tear during pregnancy. That was the thing that scared me the most. But yeah, I really wasn't expecting it to take as long as it did to heal. And even now, 4 weeks on, I wouldn't say I'm like, I don't know if I'm healed. I'm honestly too scared to look, to be honest, but it's definitely a lot better. The first few days I literally couldn't sit down. It was so painful to even sit down. So the first thing I'm going to recommend actually for any birth is pain relief. Make sure you are stocked up with paracetamol and ibuprofen. Ibuprofen especially, they told me, was really good for stitches because of like the swelling. Once the swelling goes down, that's when the stitches hurt more because they're tightening. So definitely make sure you've got lots of painkillers and don't let it wear off. Those first few days especially, I was told to be taking them every 4 hours, until you reach the like maximum dose. Do not let them wear off, because you might start thinking, oh, I'm feeling okay, and then the painkillers will wear off and you're going to be in a lot of pain. So yeah, definitely stock up on painkillers. That's tip number 1, and probably one of the most important for postpartum recovery. But then in terms of recovering from a vaginal birth, tears, anything like that, stitches, you are going to need one of these. And this product has probably been my favourite postpartum product, which sounds crazy to think that this is my new favourite product. But oh my god, I don't actually use this anymore. I've stopped using this, I would say, the last week. But for the first 3 weeks of postpartum, this didn't leave my side. I love this. This is called a peri bottle, and you basically fill it with water. I found warm water to be the best, but sometimes I didn't have a chance to fill it with warm water. I just quickly fill it up because I was desperate for a wee. And what you do is, yeah, when you need to go for a wee, then fill it up and turn it upside down and just squirt it by squeezing it. This definitely helps ease the pain for going for a wee. So you might not find it painful going for a wee. I found it painful going for a wee straight away at first because I had a catheter in during birth, and then I would say as the stitches were like in the final stage of healing, they got a bit itchy and it was sore to wee. So this was amazing. And I also just used it as generally to like clean myself, because I was told obviously not to like use soap and stuff down there. I was actually told to not use, I'm still not using soap down there. I'm just literally, so what I was told is when you shower, just let the soap and the water just fall down, and then use this to like clean after you've been for a wee and stuff like that. But I do shower, I make sure I shower a lot because I'm not using soap down there. But yeah, so I use this to clean after a wee as well. It is perfect. This is just one from Boots. You can get them from Lansnow, you can get them from anywhere, I think. This was actually my sister's, but she didn't end up using it because she did have a C-section. So I guess maybe you wouldn't need this if you have a C-section, but everyone's different. Let me know what your favourite products were for a C-section, because obviously some people might find that really useful in the comments. And also if I end up having a C-section for my next birth, then that would be really useful for me. But yeah, definitely get yourself one of these, just because you never know what kind of, well, some people obviously do know they're going to have a C-section, but you might not know what kind of birth you're going to have, and it's just better to be safe than sorry. So definitely recommend that. Then my next favourite product for down there after birth was this cooling pad. So this is from Lansnow. I was actually lucky enough to get gifted a lot of products from Lansnow. So if you do want to get any, then I'll put my TikTok on the screen now, and if you go over to my TikTok shop, then you'll find them over there. And on TikTok shop, they usually do a lot of discounts on Lansnow products, so definitely get yourself one of these. And they actually do come with reusable, like basically like tissue sleeves. So obviously you don't just put that in your pants. I mean, you could, but then obviously you'd have to try and clean it. Whereas you just put the like reusable sleeves on and then just chuck them in the bin afterwards. And I just got a pack of like quite a few of them reusable sleeves. They do come, this does come with a few of them, but yeah, definitely order more as well, I'd say, because I was using this all the time. So it says you can use this cold or warm, so you can actually use this for a C-section as well, because you can put it in the microwave and put it against your scar, or you can have it cold against your scar. I don't know what would be better. For me, I found it cold in my underwear. It was an absolute dream. And then you sit down and it was like sitting on an ice pack. It was honestly really good for pain relief. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. And then they also have one for, no, I'll talk about that on the breastfeeding journey actually, because they have a similar product for breastfeeding. Then for post-birth, you are going to want some maternity pads. So again, I have these from Lansnow. These are like bigger ones, so I use these in the first sort of like week or so, these bigger ones, and then I did actually just go down to like normal sort of period panty liner kind of, well, not panty liners, but just sort of normal period pads, just because my bleeding wasn't too bad. It was sort of like quite strong at first, and I'm still bleeding now 4 weeks on, just for a little information if anyone else is wondering, but like not much at all. I would say it's literally like on the last day of your period vibes, whereas before, I mean, even before, I wouldn't say it was really, no, like the first day or two after birth it was like quite heavy, because I did wear these which are basically adult nappies, and I know it's not very glamorous, but after birth you are going to want some of these, especially because they're just quite easy, because obviously you can just pull them on and off. You don't have to worry about putting a pad in. I used them for the first 2 or 3 days, I would say, when the bleeding was quite strong, but the whole day after I gave, because I gave birth in the morning, the whole day I was just changing these like every couple of hours, because they were just so comfy as well. And yeah, I got these, I think I got a pack from Aldi and a pack from Home Bargains. I can't remember which one I preferred, but these ones were just as good, whichever ones they're from, or any ones you can find. You can get them in Boots, any supermarket will do them. But yeah, just adult nappies. I think they're actually made for like bladder weakness and things like that. But yeah, they are really useful. I literally lived in them for the first couple of days postpartum. You just, honestly, you just don't care about being glamorous after birth. You just want all the things that are going to give you comfort. So I definitely recommend them, and maternity pads. Definitely get maternity pads. I also use Boots maternity towels, which were quite like thick, and they were just quite long, so they were quite good because they just basically fit in the whole underwear. But yeah, it wasn't until a bit longer that I went on to just normal sort of period pads, and that was like enough for me to like get through the day. I had to change it maybe a couple times, but yeah, that's what I would recommend. Definitely do not forget those. Then a random one before we get into breastfeeding essentials, and this is one that is so random, but honestly I would really recommend it, and that is hand cream. So obviously you're going to be sterilising, and I knew obviously about sterilising. I didn't realise how often my hands would be in sterilising water, and for some reason it really does dry your hands out. Let me know if you found this too, but I feel like I'm constantly applying hand cream to my hands because otherwise they just feel so dry and disgusting, and that's one thing that irritates me, is when my hands are really dry. So if that irritates you too, I would definitely get some hand cream. Like, I'm even going to put some on now because yeah, I'm just constantly applying hand cream to my hands. So definitely stock up on things like that. Same with like, this is maybe not postpartum, but lip balm again is something that bothers me so much when my lips are dry. So maybe something like that as well to stock up on. To be honest, I think anything that's going to give you a bit of like comfort after, in those like days afterwards, is just something you should get. Like, I got myself some nice new pajamas, and the feeling of like putting fresh, clean, new pajamas on after birth was literally just a dream, especially in the first week when like we didn't really get dressed during the day because we obviously had a newborn. Like, I just wore like fresh new pajamas most days, and it felt like I was putting a new outfit on because they were new. Like, I felt put together because they were matching pajamas, when realistically that wasn't put together at all. But yeah, maybe that's a good thing to recommend as well, actually, just like things that are going to make you feel a bit fresh, I guess. And yeah, like maybe some nice new pajamas. And it was a bit of a reward almost, because I don't really buy myself new pajamas, but like after birth I knew I had that pair of pajamas waiting for me that I bought a few weeks before. So yeah, maybe something like that as well is something I'd recommend. Right, so now moving on to breastfeeding. So again, I'll talk a little bit about my breastfeeding journey because it has not been an easy one, and I'm not going to sugarcoating it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Breastfeeding is very difficult in my opinion. Obviously everyone's on a different journey, everyone has different experiences. I personally am really struggling with it. Obviously, like I said, I'm 4 weeks into it. I'm taking it month by month, so he's nearly a month old. He's 4 weeks old tomorrow, but obviously not a month old yet until the 13th. And I'm taking it month by month. I said to myself during pregnancy, I'm going to breastfeed for the first year of his life. And now that I've started breastfeeding and I'm struggling with it, a year seems so unachievable, and it just seems so far out of reach. So I've got out of my head of like what I want to go to. Like, obviously that is still my goal overall, but I'm now focusing on getting a month at a time. Like, I'm going to get to 1 month and I'm going to assess and think, yep, okay, it's difficult but I'm managing, and as long as it's like starting to seem like it's getting better, I'm gonna just do month. And yeah, if I can get to 6 months, that's amazing. If I can even just get to 1 month, 2 months, like anything is incredible. I am very much like fed is best. Like, don't get me wrong, there is benefits to breastfeeding, of course there is more nutrients, and there's no denying that, you know, there's things in breast milk that there just isn't in formula. Breast milk is like literally tailored exactly to your baby. So like, if there's a bug going around, literally from kissing your baby, all I'd have to do is kiss my baby and my breast milk will produce antibodies that he needs to fight an infection that's going around, or a bug that's going around. So obviously there is so many benefits in breastfeeding, and those benefits for me is just incredible. So it's definitely something that I obviously wanted to do, but I'm also very much of the opinion that any way you feed your baby is amazing, because breastfeeding is difficult, and formula has come such a long way like over the years, that to the point where like it is still very good for your baby. So yeah, I hope that didn't offend anyone, but that's my opinion. Fed is best, absolutely, but breast milk does have a lot of benefits that I think are too good to not give a go. If that's what I'm sort of like telling myself, it's like I would be angry with myself if I didn't try. If I tried and I couldn't do it even after 1 day, absolutely fine, but I would be annoyed at myself if I didn't try, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're still going okay. I am finding it very difficult. I currently have mastitis. So if you don't know what mastitis is, it's basically a breast infection. Usually, so I've done research because I didn't have a lot of information about it, and from what I found online, it's usually caused by having an oversupply of milk. But it is completely random as well, because even men can get it. And like, for example, my sister, she had an oversupply of milk as well, and she never got mastitis, and she's been breastfeeding her baby for well over a year now. So it's completely random. Some people are more prone to getting it, and unfortunately I am one of those people that's more prone to getting it, because yeah, I got it already. It can be like things like clogged ducts and stuff like that. I have an oversupply of milk, so basically your breast milk doesn't regulate until 6 to 12 weeks after birth, like to the point where like it knows how much your baby needs. So from what I understand is I've been pumping, and it almost thinks that my baby's drinking like more than he is, if that makes sense. So I'm then producing too much milk and my ducts are getting clogged. Yeah, I think that's how it works, but it's basically an infection, and I'm on antibiotics for it at the moment. So I had to go to A&E, I think it was not this weekend, last, because I was getting feverish. I had a temperature of 39.8. I was literally having chills as well. Like my back hurt, my head hurt. I just didn't feel right. I felt weak. And I kind of had an idea that it was going to be mastitis because my boobs were really hurting. They were a bit red and a bit lumpy and very hot to touch as well, which is all the signs of mastitis, by the way. So if you have any of them, definitely go get checked out. And yeah, it wasn't getting better within 24 hours, which is what it says online. If it doesn't sort itself out by 24 hours, you're probably going to need antibiotics. So I called 111 and they actually said it's fine, just go to the chemist the next day. So I was like, okay, I did that. I went to the chemist and they were like, no, we don't deal with urgent matters. This is an urgent matter. You need to go to hospital. So I went to A&E. They examined me and straight away I was like, yep, this is mastitis, and they gave me antibiotics. So I'm currently still on that course of antibiotics. Although I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look good. Like, so she gave me 10 days worth and that wasn't enough for me. I've had to get another 7 days, which she said like it should clear up in 10 days and mine hasn't. So yeah, not great, but it is very, very painful. And to be honest, I have got to the point now where I've felt like I want to quit at so many times, but then I push myself and I think, no, keep going, you know, it will get easier every day, and it does, to be fair. So yeah, I'm still persevering at the moment, but there's been a lot of challenges in my breastfeeding journey, and yeah, if I don't make it clear, I'm exclusively pumping, which means I'm not actually latching baby to me. I haven't latched him once, not even when he was born. That's just my personal choice. People ask why all the time, and I don't really have a valid reason other than the fact that I just didn't want to. For me, I feel like I get quite overwhelmed and overstimulated, and having a newborn is very overwhelming, and you do get overstimulated and you get very touched out. So the fact of like also having to have him attached to me to feed, as well as like cuddles and, you know, everything else that comes along with newborn, then it was just too much for me. I would much rather pump and then give it to him in a bottle. And I also do think then my partner can bond with him and do some other feeds, and the benefits are the exact same whether you're pumping or whether you're latching baby onto you. So that is what I do. I exclusively pump. Like I said, he had a couple of bits of ready-made formula in the first few days, just when my milk was coming in. Your milk doesn't come in straight away. I think mine came in maybe day 4, day 5. So we had like colostrum and formula in those first few days. But yeah, that is what I'm doing. So these are the essentials that I would recommend as someone that's had mastitis and someone that's exclusively pumping. So obviously you're going to need breast pumps if you're going to be exclusively pumping. The ones I have, they're already in the sterilizer, so I can't show you, but I have the Mum Cozy S12 Pros, and then I have the Kiss Bobo 1508 Pros, which I kindly got gifted as well. So those are my 2 pumps. I love them both. I wouldn't say there was really one I prefer. They're both just as good as each other. And yeah, I'd really recommend either of those pumps. They work amazingly. And yeah, I just basically pump every 4 hours, and then I go 6 hours at night, just because obviously I want a bit more sleep if I can. And yeah, I've got an oversupply of milk, which everyone thinks is like amazing when they see how much I produce. They're like, oh my god, I wish I could produce that much. And obviously it is a luxury because it means that I can freeze some, but it also means I'm more likely to get mastitis, and I just don't need that much milk. So yeah, it's not always a good thing. But I'm just hoping that after 6 to 12 weeks it regulates and I have less milk, because I don't need it. But yeah, these are the essentials I need. So obviously if you are going to freeze some, you're going to need some freezer bags. So these are the Lansino breast milk storage bags. Again, they don't have to be Lansino. I actually got these ones off Vinted, so I didn't pay the price for them. I just paid like a couple of pounds from Vinted. I've used other ones as well, but I just needed more. And then what I use to collect my milk in, so once I've pumped, I pour them into these little storage pots. These are just from Amazon, and yeah, they're really good to sterilize and everything like that. And yeah, I just pop them in the fridge. And what I do is then once I've got like a whole shelf full of these in the fridge, obviously it can last in the fridge for 6 days if you didn't know that. Once I know that some of the stuff at the front, I'll always put the oldest at the front, so we end up obviously using the oldest first. But once it's been there for a couple of days, or it's just getting to the point where it's getting too full in the fridge, I'll then pour some into these and freeze them and date them, like backdate them a few days just to be safe. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to survive without these, because obviously I don't want to just freeze everything. I want to have some in the fridge that I can just pour into his bottle, and then yeah, we literally get these and just pour them straight into his bottle from the fridge. He drinks it cold. You don't need to warm breast milk up to give to your baby. I don't know why anyone would do that. Obviously some babies I guess are quite fussy, but if you've never ever warmed it up for them in the first place, I don't understand how they know that they want it warm, if that makes sense. So I just have always given it to them straight from the fridge. Anyone I know that's had a baby has done that as well, and he's never been fussy with it. He'll take it at any temperature now. So yeah, these are really, really handy. And I think it's like a pack of 10 of them or something like that on Amazon for like £7, so it's quite good. The next thing you are going to 100% need as well is some breast pads. Again, these are Lansino just because I did get them gifted, but I've tried the Boots ones. I think that's it, just the Boots ones. But yeah, any supermarket will do them. Boots do them, obviously Land Snow do them. I do really like these Land Snow ones, and I'm not just saying that because I was gifted them. I do actually really like them. They just really absorb the milk well, if that makes sense. Like I do only have to put one of these on during the day and then one overnight. Like I don't feel like I have to constantly replace them, because yeah, they actually really do. They are leak proof and everything. They're really good. But yeah, they're just breast pads, and you just want to put them in your bra. Some people don't leak much, but I leaked loads during pregnancy, so I kind of did assume that I was probably going to leak quite a bit during like postpartum as well. Again, I don't know if that's something that settles. Let me know if that is something that settles, because yeah, it is annoying having to wear this in my bra all the time, because sometimes I forget and then I'm like, oh whoops, and I need to go and change my clothes out. But yeah, really like these ones. They're quite comfortable as well. So yeah, breast pads, definitely get yourself some breast pads. Then in terms of comfort for breastfeeding, so if you have, you know, sore nipples, cracked nipples, honestly the first couple of days once my milk came in, I got cracked nipples, blisters, which wasn't great, and I think it was because I had the wrong flange size on my pump, which I've now changed, and I haven't had blisters or cracked nipples since, so I do think that that was why. But I think some people do just get cracked nipples more often, so if you do, then these products are probably going to be really soothing for your pain. So these are again from Land Snow, and they're called Soothies. They're cooling gel pads. These are really good. They are one-time use though, I think. So but yeah, they're instant cooling relief for painful nipples. Soothes, protects cracked nipples to allow natural healing, and protects from rubbing and irritation. One thing I got told as well is to put breast milk on your nipples if they're cracked, and apparently it heals them right up. And I also got recommended these silver cups. So what I did, I actually need to wash them. I've actually only used them a few times, to be fair. They are quite expensive though, so I do need to start using them a bit more. But I used them when I had the cracked nipples, and they did heal right back up, and I've not had to use them since. But yeah, basically I fill this with breast milk, and then I put it in the fridge, and then I just put them on the nipple. And yeah, I did find that really helped for healing the cracked nipples. So yeah, definitely worth getting if you are prone to getting cracked nipples, or even just for those first few days where you're getting used to breastfeeding, you're, you know, struggling to find a latch, or maybe, you know, you're not used to like the pump, so you don't know if you're using the right flange size. I would recommend getting these just so you've got them as backup. Then you're going to definitely want nipple cream. Again, I've gone through, this is my second tube of this, and I've nearly finished this one as well. This is the Land Snow one, and again, I know I'm just saying that because I was gifted this stuff, but I have bought this one since. I would buy it again, just because it's not massively pricey, but I definitely think this one's worth it. This healed my cracked nipples along with the silver cups literally within like 2 days. It's so good. And also I just feel dry a lot of the time, so putting this on is so good. It's also really good as a lip balm. Everyone says that. I haven't tried it yet, but everyone says it's really good as a lip balm. But yeah, this is just the linoleum nipple cream. Obviously you can get them from anywhere. You can get Boots ones, Sainsbury's, anything probably, but I probably would say if you can, spend a little bit extra and get the Land Snow one, just because I've gotten really well with this one. And then lastly, for my postpartum products, and this is the last breastfeeding one as well, is these, again, Land Snow. Oh, I just love Land Snow. So this is the product I was talking about that's similar to the pad for your underwear. They do them for your breasts as well. So they are basically these cooling pads. They've got the cooling like gel beads again. And again, this is a hot and cold breast therapy pack, it's called. So you can have it warm. I actually haven't had it warm yet, but you put it in the microwave from what I can see. But I probably should do that more often, because this is going to be really good for mastitis. I've had it cold and I've just popped it in my bra, and it's been so nice. But I think I read for mastitis you should have hot therapy before pumping, just because it like unclogs the ducts, or gets them like stimulated or something, and then cold therapy afterwards. I think that's what I read, so I do need to start doing that more often. But yeah, you just pop them in your bra. It does come with this if you want to, but I don't actually use this. It's just like a sleeve, fabric sleeve to put it in. But I just found it much more cooling to just have it straight on the skin like this. And yeah, I've got on with this so well. So on TikTok shop, you'll see if you go onto my page, a lot of this stuff comes in bulk, like together. Like a lot of this I got in like sets. There was like a breastfeeding bundle and a postpartum bundle that I got in like one go, but you can buy it all separately as well if you choose to. But yeah, I would really recommend them. Again, it's just like instant cooling relief or warm relief if that's what you want. But yeah, other than that, and if you are going to breastfeed, definitely always have water on hand. So maybe get yourself a nice big water bottle, or one of them water bottles that keeps it nice and cold. That's what I've got, and it's really nice because you do get so thirsty. Like, it's unexplainable the thirst you have, especially in the middle of the night when you wake up for feeds. That thirst is like crazy. So it's always good to have a big water bottle by your side. And same thing for hunger, like snacks and stuff like that when you're breastfeeding, because again, it's the same thing. You get very hungry. Don't forget that you actually burn, I think it's 5 to 600 calories a day from breastfeeding, so you do need to eat a little bit extra as well. But yeah, you literally, also another benefit of breastfeeding, which I didn't know until I was breastfeeding, but breastfeeding and pumping makes your uterus contract back quicker, so you actually recover better from birth if you're breastfeeding. Like you heal faster, which I didn't know, but when I was pumping that first week, I was getting like cramps in my belly, and it was like, oh my god, this is really painful. And yeah, it turns out that was my uterus contracting back to its normal size. I mean, I don't think it's back to its normal size yet. I don't think it actually is for a long time, but I don't have them contractions anymore. That's basically what they are, contractions. But yeah, you can feel them more when you're pumping or breastfeeding, which was painful, but then it is a benefit as well because it means you heal faster. So yeah, that's another little fun fact. But yeah, I think I've remembered everything. If I have forgotten anything and you can think of something that really helped you in your postpartum days, definitely leave them in the comments so that people that are going to be a new mum for the first time can see them and go out and buy them. Because yeah, all of these products have honestly been a lifesaver for me, and that's why I really wanted to do this video, because I just think it might help some people. And yeah, really interesting. But let me know if you'd like to see one for newborn essentials. Obviously I'm only 4 weeks in, I've not really done the whole newborn stage. Maybe that's one I could do at the end of the 8 weeks. Which is scary, which is only like I'm halfway through the newborn stage. But I could also do a pregnancy essentials one as well. So just let me know if those are videos you'd like to see. If not, just think of any other videos you'd like me to do. Obviously I'm on maternity leave now and my partner works a lot, so I am lonely a lot of the time. Also my baby just sleeps a lot at the moment, so yeah, definitely recommend some videos that I can film. I really do want to push through with YouTube because it gives me something to do. And yeah, I'm trying to get back into my posting twice a week, but if I suddenly don't post, then you know it's because I've had a busy week. And like I said in all my other videos that I've posted recently, turn notifications on, because I'm not necessarily posting bang on the exact same times I usually would. It's kind of just like when I find the time to edit and film, I'll post it, kind of thing. So yeah, put the notification bell on and then you won't miss a video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.